stage of the third stage of the Infinite Chess project has finished, and we have to share our outputs, check the progress, and follow up on outstanding issues. And before we start, I would love to express my sincerest gratitude to each member of our Infinite Chess family for your support, always professional cooperation, and of course for your endless love, which you give to your students and to your colleagues as well. And special thanks devoted to the motor and the pure inspiration of the project supervisor, FIDE Deputy Chair, Dana Reizniece-Ozola. Please, Dana, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Maria. I take this ball of the gratitude with a great honor, but I immediately want to throw it back to all of you because my task is the easiest one. I'm just staying in back and supporting all the great job that you are doing yourselves. And this is also a very special moment for me when we meet the FIDE colleagues, the facilitators in various countries that we implement the project in, the project team, and I hope that we will not only share the experience of what has been done before, but also have some lessons learned and understand how we still can do better and improve for the months and years to follow in the project. You already probably know that the project has expanded massively over the last 2 years. 2 years ago, we developed the new training program with the support of International Olympic Committee, with our experts from Canada, Brazil, Armenia, Belarus, and now the program is really used by the teachers, by the facilitators, put into the place via pilot activities already in 12 countries. I'll name them: Albania, Cyprus, France, Gibraltar, Latvia, my country as well, Malaysia, Mongolia, Morocco, South Africa, Spain, Taiwan, and Turkey, and several more are coming. We're already finishing the preparatory work with the New Zealand, Maldives, and India to launch the project this year. And we've received additional support from the International Olympic Committee to expand in Africa and Americas. So we are looking forward for new partners there. So you are already the people who've got your experience. I hope that you are also the people who are well connected and can guide us which of the countries, which of the organizations or the personalities, the focal points can be used in those two continents for us to expand and establish sustainable programs. Because for us, it is very important not only to start and to make some show for a month or a half a year, but to really put the programs on track so that they can be sustainable, so that they can be in place in a longer term, so that we can also see the tangible results of the job you are doing, and also putting those in some scientific mode and make some proper research and analysis on how chess influences the psycho-emotional well-being of, in this case, kids with autistic spectrum disorder. From our side, I can promise you that we will not only expand, which is a nice thing to have, but we'll continue our support for those countries that have been implementing the program so far and have been doing it successfully. Once again, thank you very much for all your work and dedication. I know that you know, the financial part that we devote from ourselves is not big enough to cover all your energy, time, and love that you dedicate to the project. I know how difficult it is actually for you to work on that, but I understand that it's also very heartwarming and rewarding. I would be willing also to thank all those countries who've managed to find the local sponsorship, like South Africa, Gibraltar, Spain, Morocco, and Mongolia, and French chess associations. They have managed to find the local support that's highly appreciated, that allows us to make the projects bigger and stronger. So my love, my thankfulness to you all. I'm looking forward to listening your stories, your experiences. Tell us all the good things, but also those that need to be improved. We are here to listen. We are here to take note and also to improve, which is very important. Maria, thank you also for your everyday work in this project. You are, you know, the managing hands and heart and soul behind this project. I appreciate it very much. Alongside with Anastasia and Nadezhda and all the other team on the FIDE side. I'm giving the floor back to you and guide us to the next speaker.
Thank you very much, Dana. Thank you very much for kind words and support, of course, because the easiest work is not the easiest one, in fact. Well, and to continue the good news about the support of the project for the next stage, I'm happy to announce that we continue profound cooperation with the International Olympic Committee, and we will continue the program in African and American countries for the next stage. And we have a special guest today, Ms. Chipisa Lapan, President of African Chess Confederation. She's here to share the news about the project implementation in Africa. Ms. Lapan, please.
Thank you so much for the invite, which gives me an opportunity to learn from these intellects tonight. I'm really happy to be invited to this program so that Africa can take part. I've heard Dana mentioning the presence of South Africa and Morocco, of course, which means we will learn from the team because they are from Africa. So they will be the benchmark. And as Africa, we are ready to take part and collaborate with Infinite Chess Program. Thank you so much for the invite.
Thank you very much, Ms. Lapan. The leader of the project, Anastasia Sorokina, cannot join us now. She's in China, but she has her hello and welcome messaging for you.
Yes, if I just can convey her warmest greetings as well. We are now in China, in Chongqing, the city where the second leg of the World Women Chess Championship match is being held. And now the game is going on, and Anastasia is the chief arbiter, so she cannot let the challenger and the world champion alone. She's there rallying for us and being very much sorry for not being able to join, but we'll convey the message to her.
Yes. Nadezhda, please.
Dear partners of Infinite Chess Project, greetings from China. I'm very happy and grateful to all of you for today's session. I think it's very important to meet and share our experience, share our vision and share our plans. It's proved already that chess helping kids with autism spectrum disorder, and I believe that together we can do more and we can help more kids all around the world. Thank you and good luck.
An additional thank you I would love to devote to the FIDE Social Commission and the Secretary of FIDE Social Commission, Nadezhda, who was in the beginning of the project, and she has done a lot of work. She has done a lot of preparatory work and still continues supporting us and be with us in all our activities. Please, Nadezhda, can you share a word with us?
Yes, thank you, Maria. I just would like once again to thank you all our partners and emphasize that there are no small results in this project, and we're so glad to receive any news about this project in our common WhatsApp group and in our small groups. It's really very important and show us every day or every period of time that we are on the right directions. And just thank you again, and just whenever you would like to share with us any information, or if you have any questions, we're here to help you and to assist you and to continue to cooperate with you. So thank you.
Thank you, Nadezhda. And now I give the floor to our partners to share the results of the project in their regions. And the first one to share is Viesturs Kapce, coach from Latvia. Viesturs, are you with us?
Hello, dear participants and organizers. I'm thrilled to be here and share my experience during the last year's cooperation with FIDE Infinite. So I will share my screen and I will go in greater details about our accomplishments. So one moment. Okay, so during October, we started our collaboration with FIDE Infinite and Riga's primary school #2 for children with special needs. And we organized weekly chess lessons for a group of 4 Riga primary school #2 students with ASD. Here we have a great picture from our first meeting with students. Most of the students were without prior knowledge, except student A, who had a knowledge about piece moves, brief knowledge about chess rules and techniques like checkmate, promotion, fork and pin, but that's about it. Well, others started from zero, and we made, in my opinion, considerable progress in the frame of this, in the time period of this project's first year in Latvia. So after our work, student A developed new skills and enhanced prior knowledge. So he was introduced with other chess rules and techniques, also opening principles, and developed ability to work independently on different tasks, and also ability to participate in chess online games. And he was having his first tournament debut in the end of the school year. Other students also developed considerable chess skills. Student B, for example, were able to independently show piece moves, developed brief knowledge of chess rules and techniques like checkmate, promotion, and fork. And he was able to fulfill easy written assignments, but with guidance. However, he was able to work independently on digital assignments. That was interesting finding for me, that somehow all members were very tech savvy and able to conduct those digital activities with ease, comparing with the activities on chessboard or in workbooks. Students C and D struggled a bit comparing to other two, but still we managed to establish knowledge of piece moves. However, it required weekly repetition drills. I will go in greater detail about that. And with the coach and assistant guidance, they were able to also do written assignments. But independently, as I said, digital work proved to be quite successful. They were able to independently work on digital assignments with moderate success, around 25 up to 50% success rate. That was quite an achievement, in my opinion. So when we started our lessons, I tried to do my usual. I tried to work through my usual framework that is successful in scholastic chess after school activities. However, it was not very efficient as I understood during the lessons. So at the beginning we had this approach: 10 minutes for introducing a new topic from on the demonstration board from FIDE Infinite curriculum developed by Miss Natalia Popova. Curriculum was a great help. However, demonstrating topics on demonstration board was found not to be so successful because of limited attention span and distractions, as we will see in a bit later. 20 minutes of practical mini games, other tasks on the chessboard with a coach or assistant. Also, during regular lessons, I try to emphasize socializing between students, and I try to engage them in those mini games. However, in this environment, students were not interested in socializing between themselves, so we had to make some adjustments here as well. And here we faced some obstacles. I tried to summarize them. So unfortunately, classroom environment was not suboptimal because classroom was used also for residential students and contain many visual educational elements that cause distraction. And also desk arrangement was not constant, and students felt somehow out of the place during the lessons because those desk arrangement was changed. Also, unfortunately, we had no parent engagement, but we tried to invite them to participate in the learning process. However, unfortunately, without results. Due to illness and logistical issues, we had quite infrequent attendance. Of course, that also was hindering their progress. And of course, this difference in skill set and capacity made it more difficult to work as a group and achieve a specific group goal, because capacity and skill level was very difficult. Very different. And we had some, well, I observed some mental characteristics for each student. Of course, that is my subjective assumption, but also some characteristics caused them to some characteristics were not allowing them to fulfill full potential. And no rehearsal between lessons. We tried to stimulate them to do homework. However, only one student out of 4 confirmed that he were actually doing home assignments. So it is only 25% of participants essentially. And as I said, no socializing between students. So we had to make some adjustments. And to best of my ability, I tried to profile individual obstacles for each student. Well, student A was very capable, so not much of obstacles here. Only insufficient attendance and unwillingness to do homeworks. I was trying to push him even further, but he was not willing to cooperate. And in a chess sense, maybe fixation on chess element or piece, meaning that he had this one idea and he was stubborn to proceed with this idea and maybe unwilling to adjust. So maybe not so flexible approach. And student B and C and D all shared short attention span issues and also distraction by the classroom environment. With student C, we had issues that he was in a good day very capable of solving many tactic exercises and understanding lesson topics, but he had anxiety attacks and mood changes, and basically that dictated how well he is performing during the classes. And after consulting with Miss Natalia Popova and reflecting about achieved during the approximately middle term of the school year, I made some adjustments. I decided to push student A further and we tried to achieve a skill set that would be sufficient to participate in chess tournament, and we succeeded. And also during this time, he showed capacity to work individually, so I adjusted this learning plan for him, and we can see it on the left side. So every lesson we spent around 10 minutes introducing new topics for the student. Then we continued with 20 minutes of tactical puzzles, digital or workbook. He performed very well. On average, he solved about around 50 puzzles each lesson. And he also practiced online chess on Lichess platform, or we played exhibition, or we played a friendly match to prepare him for tournament. Student B, C, and D, we adjusted our aims, we adjusted our goals because, well, we wanted to maximize their potential, and we spent 10 minutes for move repetition drills because, as I said, they shared the common trait about short attention span and distraction. So combined with unwillingness to do homeworks, unfortunately, after each lesson, they forgot fundamentals, and we had to rehearse them. And mini games found to be very successful. And in the meanwhile, student A was conducting his activities, and me and the assistant had more capacity to focus individually on student B, C, and D. So that was also an added benefit. And new topics were introduced during different activities according to each student's capability. Well, and here are a few takeaways from my experience. Well, it's very important to set realistic, individual and achievable goals for each student, because well, not all of them will be tournament ready, but all of them can learn some portion of chess and can enjoy it, and that is, in my opinion, even more important. Focus on process and consistency. So we did those repetition drills every week. For me, it felt a bit more repetitive. It might seem like a routine, but for them it was beneficial because, well, they forgot the moves, and then after 10 minutes they were capable of digest a bit more comprehensive information. And, well, we need to help reach each student's potential. And even if we get a smile during the lesson, that is also achievement. So there is no small achievements, in my opinion. Well, and the missing component during this school year was cooperation between parents. Unfortunately, parents were not willing to support their children activity, in a sense that they were not able to provide environment and guidance for them to do home assignments. That is also very, very important. And digital tools were found to be very successful if used appropriately. And here are some maybe more practical takeaways. We used those sort of mini games. Knight moves were particularly difficult. Well, in general, the knight move is very difficult for beginners, and for those 4 children with ASD particularly. So we used mini games with knights. Not much is required. it's enough to have a regular chess set and a few cardboard or thick paper circles, and also plastic coins or tokens from other board games. And that was very helpful for move repetition drills. First mini game in this slide is very important and useful. We try to rearrange pieces in the appropriate starting position, and in doing so, we rehearse all piece moves. This activity is a bit more time consuming. It takes more than 10 minutes, but I found it very successful. And also this pig herder and the piglets was quite successful, and students enjoyed it. And it helps to appreciate teamwork of pawns, strength by numbers, and also absolute strength of the queen. Here we can see how we used our tools. During the workbook phase, still a chessboard was present, and this demonstration next to the workbook was very helpful, because workbooks seem to be pretty abstract for them. However, if we guide them and show them how it looks on chessboard with those tokens or paper circles, I found it to be very successful. Here, this was remarkable how student D, who was experiencing difficulties to compose himself, and also was in generally working very slow, he is doing mate in one quite conveniently and swiftly. On a good day, of course, mood changes, and on some other day he might struggle, but here he did it, in my mind, very, very well. So, if he would do it on workbook, it would take at least 10 times longer for him to do this same amount of exercises. And this particular student was very interested in digital activities. He even tinkered around with other chess applications. So that was his favorite part of the lessons. So student A is Dennis, and Dennis showed true fighting spirit, and despite a few losses, finished his first tournament and at 31st place out of 37 participants, and scored 2.5 points out of 7. So that was our celebration at the end of the school year. I spoke with my friend and chief arbiter of the tournament, and he said that Dennis was fully present, and there were no hindrances, and he full-fledgedly participated in the tournament, and there is no reason to think that he wouldn't be able to push it even further, to develop his chess career even further. So that was very heartwarming for me. And here, at the conclusion about chess applications that we used, Magnus Kingdom was a fan favorite. It is very colorful, very, very pretty artwork. My suggestion is to change pieces to regular chess set. You see there are those cartoonish characters, but in the settings you can change them to regular chess set. So it helps them to make connection with the OTB chess. Mainly all tactical tasks were solved in a Chess King environment. You can find it on Android and on iOS devices. Chess Lite was a bit an ordinary puzzle application where you need to illuminate all all chessboard with given pieces. So it was a bit abstract, and also this application was particularly loved by students. Chess Universe, we have this type of position, and the application provides us with 3 suggested moves, and one of them is meant to be the best. However, the purpose is for students to learn and remind them about those moves. So it was very helpful. Students were able to conduct a chess game, and if they forget the moves, they always have an opportunity to choose one of those 3. Well, as I mentioned, Dennis practiced online chess games on Lichess. So Lichess is very useful. And also Magnus, play Magnus, this application. As I said, students were not interested in socializing, so playing games between themselves was not an option. So to give them a playing experience, you can use play Magnus and start with the entry-level difficulty, and then show them and provide them with opportunity to play regular chess like that. So thank you for your attention, and hopefully it was useful, because this was a rewarding experience for myself. So that would be it.
Thank you, Viesturs, very much. It's a very informative presentation, and thank you for sharing the feedback. There are no small achievements, as you said, and we're happy to see even more. And this is very inspiring for everyone, I hope, and for yourself as well.
Exactly.
Right? You see the reward of your work, of everyday work. And I hope that we will continue even better, I mean, the progress. And the program which you mentioned in the very beginning, I shared the link in the comments for all those guests who are joining us to take a look. And it has been translated into 4 languages, and it will be translated in Arabic as well, as I mentioned. So thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Move forward. And Malaysia is one of the countries where FIDE Infinite Chess project is developing with the help of Swee Sie, a project coordinator in Oak Tree Resource Center. And in May this year, Malaysia crowned their newest Women's Chess Championship, a 13-year-old autistic girl player, Ainal Mardia. And although she is not participating in the project, she is an example how chess has no limitations, and it is very important for kids with autism spectrum disorder to benefit from game chess. And I hope we will continue this project in means of scientific research, which we really talk about for 2 years, and we needed to prove scientifically the benefits of chess for such kids. And this is quite a challenging goal with evaluated budget about 500,000 euros. So we call for help for all presenting colleagues to assist us in a search of a European-based university to be able to apply for Erasmus program and continue our very promising job. And now, please, Ms. C, welcome. We're happy to listen to your presentation. Are you with us? Ms. C?
I'm here. Can you hear me? I'm
Yes.
here.
Yes.
Hello. Hello. I'll try to share screen now, yeah? Let me just try. Just give me a minute, yeah? I'm so sorry.
No problem.
Give me a minute. Let me try to do this. I'm sorry. I am having a bit of problem getting this out. Just give me a minute. Would you happen to have my okay, just give me a minute. Let me just try and get some help, yeah, to get my screen shared, yeah? Just give me a minute.
I think she's sharing the screen, or this is not from her screen.
Okay, Sorry, very sorry. Just try again.
You already share your screen. We can see your
I
presentation.
have shared. Can you see it? I can't see it. Just give me a minute, yeah? Okay. Let me see. I can't see the screen. Just give me a minute, yeah? Just give me a minute, sorry. I'm sorry, just give me a minute.
It's okay.
I can't get this
Don't
done.
worry. Maybe you can
I have
just
started, yes.
maybe you can just try to stop share your screen and
Okay,
try
I'll stop
to
share
do it.
and
Yes.
perhaps you can share for me, yeah? I'm so sorry.
Okay,
Just
yes, let's do it. Let me share your presentation.
I
Just
will
stop.
try and see if I can get this done. Just let me see if I can get this done. Can you see it now? Yeah?
Yes, we see. Yes, but we
Yes, that's right. That's right.
we
Okay,
see
I can see the
slight-
screen now.
Yes.
It is. Can you see my screen now?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Everything
Okay.
is fine now. Thank
I'm
you.
so sorry. I truly apologize. Okay, I'm ready to start. So good day, everyone. I am C, the local project coordinator for the Infinite Chess project in Penang, Malaysia. And I would really sincerely like to thank FIDE and WIM Anastasia and FIDE Deputy Chair Dana, Maria and Team FIDE Infinite Chess. This is a wonderful initiative and we are grateful to be partners of this project. Our students started with zero knowledge in chess. We have 5 students and they all started with zero knowledge in chess. They have progressed to learn the basic moves, simple checkmate, simple opening, tactics, and we are now teaching them the king-pawn endgame. Beyond learning of chess, they have improved their focus, attention span, interactive skills, and appear to have more confidence now than before. Occasionally, we do have parents sitting in to help as well, and it is extremely encouraging to see the progress and improvement in the students in chess, in social skills, and in other educational aspects. Again, thank you very much. I will try to share my screen now. So this project, the trainer was FIDE trainer, candidate master Jonathan Chua. I was the project coordinator, and we had 2 assistant trainers, Manresh Singh, who is also a national instructor, and Elvin, who's an assistant teacher in Oak Tree. This is the venue for our lessons. The venue name is Oak Tree Resource Center. It's a homeschool for children with special needs. Can you hear me so far? Yes? Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Yes, okay. So these are some pictures taken during lessons. As you can see, they are learning how to do checkmate on the demo board. And okay, pictures taken after the lesson. Then pictures again, teaching them basic tactics like pin and skewer and fork. Yeah, so they respond very well. And as you can see from the smiles on their faces, they're very happy to be doing this as well. And this is another group picture of another lesson which we have conducted. Okay, this is a group of all of us. That's Manresh, myself, CM Jonathan, and all the 5 students, Mackenzie, Lucas, Marcus, Jaden, and Gim Hock. Okay, some more lessons. This is our interaction. And this is the picture with the Oak Tree Resource principal, Ms. Catherine Kang, who has also helped by providing the venue. They're learning here the basic opening and the king-pawn endgame. And finally, grateful thanks again to WIM Anastasia, to FIDE Deputy Chair, Dana, and to Team Infinite Chess at FIDE. Some final points that I have, well, from hearing the first presentation, I picked up on some points as well. So I would like to mention here that for us, we had cooperation, we had coordination between the coach, the assistants, and the parents. The parents were very involved. They were very interested to find out what was the progress of the children. They were very encouraged, and we have a chat group. So every week we will post in pictures, we'll post in progress, and the parents can also have questions to ask. The attention span for the children, yes, it was not 100%, but we know how to maybe give them a short time out and bring their attention back to the lesson. And occasionally parents do sit in as well, and they also know how to bring their children's attention back to the game. So that was not, it was a challenge, but it was not something that we could not overcome. The classroom was conducive because the homeschool was actually the school for the children. So they were very familiar with the room. So that was all right. And for memory wise, we always try, like at the beginning of the following lesson, we give them a refresher and we ask them, okay, what did you learn the lesson before? And so that helped to bring us to the next lesson. Attendance was very regular. The children could communicate well with each other. As you can see from the pictures, they are very happy to be together. They actually do communicate a little bit with each other. What I've noticed is not only did they learn the game of chess, but very importantly also their social skills also improved, their confidence level increased, the parents were happy, the children were happy. And looking forward, we will actually have local press coverage on this event for World Chess Day. So Malaysia will feature an article on this, and we will also hope to be able to raise more funds from private sponsors in Malaysia to be able to continue this project, because I can really see the benefits. And again, grateful thanks to everyone.
Thank you very much, Steve. It's really a very inspiring presentation, and I think we literally can feel the positive energy from those pictures of yours. And we can save it for the next stage and keep going in such a mood. And now I want to welcome Kamal Daodi, our coach from Morocco.
Give me a minute.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello, everybody. Do you hear me, please?
Yes.
We hear you.
Yes, we can.
All right, thank you very much. I'm gonna just share my
I have
my
to stop
screen.
sharing.
All right. Do you see my screen right now?
Yes.
Yes, we do.
All right, thank you very much. So I tried to jot down everything I'm saying right now. So sorry, just one moment. All right. Oops, I need to go up. All right, so this is it. So here we've got some pictures which showing the environment of the chess sessions we conducted. So we had 8 students I'm gonna speak about. Sorry, these are some of the pictures. Here we go. We had an assistant for each student. Here we go. Here we go again. So you're gonna maybe notice that this school is in a poor neighborhood. So this was dedicated for children with special needs in for all levels. But anyway, the majority of them are poor ones. So just to say, anyway. So here we go. The duration was from the 23rd to June 30th. It was the last quarter. Beneficiary, it was 80 children with autism spectrum disorder. Beneficiary 2, it was 8 female teachers assistants, then another male teacher assistant. All of them are specialized on ASD coaching, and they were so happy to get that training. Frequency, it was 16 sessions, 1 session per week. Purpose was to discover and experiment and prove all impact of chess on various children with ASD. So now we have, I believe that the project was designed for a group of maximum 4 students, but once discussed with our institutes with whom we get this project done. So their council advised to take in charge 8 children with different behaviors and symptoms to end up with a perfect group for children, as we don't know who gonna continue till the end, who gonna interact, who gonna be interested with, and who gonna finish the program with us. So taking into consideration the presence of an assistant to accompany the growth of each student and deal with the possibility of certain withdrawals, hence we could get all the sessions done in time despite several absent circumstances. You follow up, please?
Yes.
Thank you very much. As my connection is low, so I'm not sure whether I'm still on or not. Sorry. So the main simple tasks we worked on was to sit down, to shake hands, embrace and enjoy sharing the same game with a different child, sit pieces accordingly in the chessboard, recognize and name the chess pieces, move certain chess pieces like pawn, rook, and bishop, and in certain advanced cases, knight, queen, and king. But let's just remind you that all our students were have never been initiated about chess, and majority of them are non-speaking, so they have complicated symptoms. So we were just making an experiment to see who gonna interact and be interested with the chess game, especially for cognitive and psychological skills. So I'm not speaking about chess as a sport, but I'm mostly speaking about the chess as a tool to succeed our life, to gain much capabilities and much skills to develop in our main life. So here another main simple tasks we worked on. So was to wait for his partner's turn, to applause and enjoy good news, listen carefully to his coach instructions while playing his favorite game, learning certain mathematical concepts, horizontal, vertical, diagonal, L letter, but couldn't count hierarchical values yet. Hopefully for the next campaign. Remarks. Children, partners, and assistants are happy to play chess. Some of them have been interested to get more private chess sessions at home with their parents. 2 cases, Taha and Sulaiman, have been outstanding, so I can count on them for an advanced program. Ismail is non-speaking case, but he is extremely happy to assess the chess sessions in which he finds himself. So this is all what we could do during this last quarter. So I feel like all of them were happy, exceptionally their parents, who decided to continue this program for the next year. So they are also happy to develop more special skills that's going to help them during their daily tasks. So let's discover what we're going to achieve for the next steps to take. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Kamal. It was very informative, and we are happy that you are part of our project, and we hope to continue as well with the same progress. Next presentation is from South Africa. Please welcome Kanthi Sarjoo, a speech language pathologist at Brown School. Ms. Sarjoo.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having me today. So I'm just going to briefly give you our experience in South Africa. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, we do, but maybe you can just make it like full screen. Yes, here, yeah, all right.
Okay, thanks. Just to give you a brief background, I'm a speech language pathologist at a special school called the Brown School, and here we cater for children on the spectrum. So we have 8 classes in our school, and 4 of them have been included in this project. We started our project in February last year, and so we are in the 2nd year. However, some of our children are in the first year because of the class placement. So we do have to accommodate children that have been in certain classes. The other thing is that this is the first year that we have been given permission to timetable chess for an hour each week. So we're very privileged to have extra time this year compared to last year. So basically, I think my goals will be a bit different to others because I am coming from the speech language pathology side of it. So our project goals are basically to improve social interaction and develop social reciprocity. It's very important that we can encourage some turn taking when we are delivering the chess lessons. And when it isn't, create an environment so that children are forced to actually interact with each other. We also want them to have logical reasoning and inferencing, and I think chess is has been such a valuable tool in encouraging this, that when your opponent moves in a certain way, what type of strategies can I put in place? And I found that this chess has been incredible in actually developing this tool. Fostering good sportsmanship. Sometimes, you know, if we quote the researchers, they find children on the spectrum to be quite self-centered or into their own world. So it's important for us to actually cultivate this environment of good sportsmanship. We also want to develop and encourage teamwork and friendship. I think for me personally, friendship is the hugest thing for a child on the spectrum because of the effects of autism and the fact that we have difficulty in interacting with other children. And I think for parents, to have a friend is as good as anything. It's the most important thing that they want from the kids. Obviously, to develop chess skills. And yes, our children started with zero knowledge of chess. So you'll find that as I'm giving you my results, I'm quite delayed in my goals because of the diversity of children that we have and the fact that I have to accommodate each one's understanding and knowledge and skill in each lesson. We also develop the ability to problem solve, to repair conversational breakdowns and resolve conflicts. We're trying to encourage parent-child interaction through social chess, but as the other presenters mentioned, it is quite a challenge. So as I said, we started the project in Feb. We have Thursday's group of 8 children aged 9 to 11, and 2 groups are held on a Friday. So group 1 consists of 16 children. This is the first year we've taken children up to 16, and group 2 contains 8 children. So each session is an hour in duration. We spend 20 to 30 minutes demonstration, an exploration of the topic that we've introduced. It's very important that before you introduce a topic, there's a lot of verbal preparations that happen. 20 minutes with consolidation and chess exercises, and 10 minutes with revision. So this year we have 32 children participating in our project. The things that we had to consider before we got started was the number of children in each group, the dynamics of the group, the level of competency in the game and chess skills and knowledge, the language abilities. We do have children that are non-verbal, children that have very little language abilities or verbal skills, and those that are quite competent. The level of social awareness is very important to accommodate because some are very, very particular about their personal spaces. Sensory profile, I think it's been mentioned on numerous occasions, the value of actually dealing with each child and realizing that each child is different and each child has specific sensory diets. And I think that always has to be accommodated in the chess lesson. The classroom setup, the level of visual support. So we've been using all of FIDE's recommendations and use visual aids in all platforms. And we try to encourage the communication with the parents and caregivers. Medical management was very important, that each child is on the correct medication if they are, and that all symptoms and behaviors were accommodated as well. We also tried to facilitate teacher support, so we had to figure out how do we actually encourage this before getting started. So obviously research has indicated that children on the spectrum benefit best from a room that's organized and less distracted. So we have minimal furniture and we had clearly marked areas. We've decided we have a dedicated chess room that was used for both children in the mainstream sector of our school and for children with autistic spectrum disorder. As I said before, they are verbally prepared regarding the lessons, and chess was included on their visual schedules in each classroom. So because we have timetabled this, so it's part of their daily routine, we had actually had a symbol for chess so that the children knew exactly when chess was happening and on which day. So when we were presenting our lessons, we had to make sure that we were clear and concise. I had to speak in short sentences to make sure that my instructions were followed. Pausing, I can't even tell you the value of actually pausing and making sure that each child understood what was happening. Because as I mentioned before on other presentations, that chess is actually a language and it has to be considered as such. And it is ambiguous in terms of the fact that a queen could mean so many things. The word castle could mean so many things, or knight. So we have to be very, very sure that and concrete in the way we approach a concept, so to make sure that the child actually understands what we're talking about. It's very important to test and retest, because sometimes I'm quite confident that a child does understand how a chess piece moves or what a chess piece looks like, only to realize 2 lessons later that I have to actually revise that concept and retest it again. We had to present the information on various platforms like demonstration, a role play, social stories, which is one of my forte. So I love using social stories, and use the demo board and the floorboard. We also always reinforced everything we had prepared for the lesson with worksheets and exercise, and revised the concept in the next lesson. And also, I had to actually teach myself about the fact that the curriculum is not as important as the child's understanding. And most of the time, you had to really go slow with whatever it was that you were teaching for the day. And sometimes you planned a whole lesson and you realized you only got past the first goal for that day. And I had to teach myself that was fine. Some of the therapeutic techniques, it was important to ensure that the environment is conducive to learning, that the sensory issues were accommodated to make sure that lighting was suitable, that each child was comfortable where they were seated. And in some cases, I made sure that I changed their spots as well, because as much as routine is important, it's also important to prepare our children when things happen, when unforeseen things happen. I had to check the children's level of tolerance to noise of fans, and sometimes if the gardener's outside with the lawnmower, so that was like important for me to sort out. The tone and loudness of the chess teacher and coach, the dress code of the teacher and coach, because sometimes patterns on your dresses can actually make them uncomfortable, or spots. I had a child that didn't like spots on dresses, so I had to make sure that polka dots were not for me or the coach. Sorry. So these are some of the social stories and posters that we've used. So when we're introducing chess, we always have pictures and Also a picture of themselves here so that they know that they are coming in to play the game of chess. When we introduce the chessboard, so this is the floorboard, we get them to walk it. And obviously I get the girls to do the ramp walk on learning ranks and files. We motor plan it as well so that when we're using the concept of a rank and a file, do they know it's a horizontal one or a vertical one? Is it side to side or up and down? To visualize it and then to show by using counters. Here you can see the various ways we've introduced the concept. So this is the seating environment, the first picture. The next one, the student is showing us on the board. Here, the next one, the teacher is showing it on the board and the child is actually showing it on their own board. Here we give them the floorboard and they have to actually organize it correctly and to see if they know the rule of how what a chessboard should look like when they place it on their table. We've also done work in the exercise books, and here we do group activities where we'll say, tell a child, take 4 kids and tell them, go find the corner pieces, and then they have to stand, or the center pieces, or a particular chess notation. There's more pictures regarding that. So here with the older kids in the second row, you can see the older kids, we've used written language. So we wrote out words on a piece of paper and get them to find it on their chessboard, on the floorboard and on their chessboard as well. We loved chess values because we can actually incorporate some maths concepts in here. So using counters, they have to show you the value. Here we reinforced it also with stickers in their books so that they could do the next exercise independently. So visual cues and concrete aids is very, very important. Here we gave a number and said, here are your chess pieces. Which chess piece would you use to get to that value? So when we introduced to the bishop, I just put in 2 short videos here, just to show you how we couldn't actually take anything for granted, that it's so important that although you showed it on your demo board, you showed it on the floorboard, you've made each child explore that concept. When you go to each child to test, you find that they sometimes hesitant and they do need you to actually have that individual assistance. Show me how your bishop is going to. And then to also just check other concepts regarding the bishop. Here, and just different ways we also explore topics. So just here, the child is just showing us whether he knows the chess pieces, he can identify them, and then work in their workbooks. And you always get the funny one who loves to take selfies and photos. Also, they always get rewarded with certificates, so that the parents also know exactly how they're doing in chess. And it's always important to reward their efforts. We also created a form to send out to encourage parent participation. So whenever we have contact with parents, because we also have parent meetings, we always just put in a word about chess and just ask them how, how's your child doing in chess. And I do get some parents that would say that I didn't even know there was a chess book, but I would get also parents saying that my child was so interested in chess that I had to actually teach myself and encourage him, and for his birthday, he asked for a chess set. So you did get like a variety of parent feedback as well. So observations, I found that children overall were very motivated to come to the lessons. Me being recognized as a speech therapist, they realized, oh, she also does some fun work with chess. So they were very, very excited during the days that they had chess. They needed a lot of demonstration, lots of repetition, as mentioned by all presenters. And sometimes the week's events influence their participation in the lesson. So it's very important to know what their week was like. Like I had a few students who were very disorganized in my lesson, dysregulated, because the teacher was absent for the week, or maybe their best friend was absent, or they were sick. So it's very important to actually figure out what has happened in that week. I found that the words I chose when explaining, it was different from group to group and even from individual to individual. So sometimes you'd use the word horizontal, but they wanted you to say side to side, but another group wanted you to say left to right. Or if you had to talk about the pawn, I found that even though I am saying, you move 2 spaces forward, a child is looking from the black player perspective and the white player perspective. And so if he's the white player, he says, my pawn moves higher and higher, and his opponent's pawn moves lower and lower. And that is how he understood the reference to the pawn. I found the more competent children were slightly less motivated and wanted the lessons to move at a faster pace. Our room obviously had to be structured, well organized, less distracting, and sometimes with time constraints, it's sometimes very difficult to have the optimal structured, well-organized room, because as I said, our room was used both for chess in the with mainstream children and then with autistic children. And if you're having one lesson following the other, sometimes this could be a challenge. I found stickers, sweets, and different types of stickers, and even badges were always introduced to make it more competitive, and they seem to be very, very motivated by this. Also, I found that although children were shown how the pieces move via demonstration using the floorboard, visual cards, it was found that the worksheets regarding which piece to capture, when the worksheets were used regarding which piece to capture, the younger children needed the individual assistance regarding the move that captures the piece, because, so as I said before, although you found that you've actually explored the topic or the concept in all these different ways, you still have to sometimes test and retest and give assistance when required. And some children, which I didn't see this last year, but now in the second year, which was sweet in some ways, that some children purposely avoided a capture, especially if the opponent was a good friend. They felt that it's difficult, and I felt that the children found it difficult to separate their own feelings of affection to the context of playing a game. YouTube videos and on playing chess, especially with animation, helped to improve their understanding. And I think this topic of digital assignments seems very, very exciting to me now, and I would definitely explore that. And the use of logiboards proved valuable in providing children with visual support. So if we were doing ranks and files, this is something that we used. The use of the green and red magnets has proved invaluable in explaining checkmate and check to the children. The magnetic arrows have been useful in demonstrating where a move can be possible. Also, I found the use of colorful counters aided the understanding of chess values and concepts, such as files and ranks. And this was also quite an interesting observation that in some groups, children adopted a buddy system where their buddy would check if their friend or the person next door had actually placed their pieces correctly and followed the coach's instructions. So sometimes if it was a scenario of puzzle where you say, what move would the black bishop make next, and it was an opportunity for checkmate, you'd find that this buddy would go and just check that the person placed their pieces in the correct place according to that puzzle. And I thought that was very, very sweet and definitely a new observation. I also found that their social interaction improved a lot in this way. Some of my limitations have been access to digital technology, as the chess room is dedicated to chess and our projector or digital devices are not in the room. It's also difficult to predict how children on the spectrum would conceptualize or understand a lesson, so preparation was a key. Parent contact is minimum, as chess lessons are part of the timetable. So something to consider would be social events to encourage this. The diversity in skills and competency and knowledge can be a challenge to ensure that the entire group has grasped a concept. So it's basically about multi-tier teaching, where some children would be still on maybe their own chessboard and not yet on the workbooks, whereas other children have completed their workbooks. So it's very, very important to make sure each child stays motivated within that lesson. And sometimes it's difficult because you're spending time on the child that doesn't understand that concept, whereas a competent child has actually moved on. So I must say thank you so much for this opportunity to be part of this project. It has been invaluable and has actually benefited our children to a remarkable extent. I think even I've grown as a therapist. I've seen new things in my children, and the fact that chess can be such an important and valuable tool in improving their social interaction is something that's very, very close to my heart. And I must say, I'm absolutely grateful for this opportunity. And I have to thank our chess tutor, Eric Tekwari, for his continued support and feedback and assistance. Just to also just let you know that because chess was timetabled as part of the chess of the school day, we actually gave feedback on their school reports regarding chess, and it was done mid-year last year and this year. And so parents are actually seeing the importance of chess as well. We also this year, because we have basically piqued the interest of other teachers in our school, so we held a workshop just showing how important chess is in our daily lives and the benefit of it. And so we've got teachers that are starting chess projects within the schools in different departments, like children with special needs, children with attention problems. We've also got in the intermediate phase or the pre-primary phase that have actually taken some parts of chess and introduced it in their daily activities as well. We also are exploring a tournament soon, and we will include all children or most of our children on the spectrum. So thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you very much, Ms. Sarjoo. Thank you very much for so inspiring, encouraging information, devoted work, and your attention to the details, despite of all challenges which you may meet in your work. So thank you very much. This is very nice. I see that David, you wanted to ask some question. No, I would.
Yes, if it's okay. I don't want to.
I would love to introduce you first, right? And thank you for being with us. Yes, David Smerden is a FIDE Commission for Women's Chess member, and he's in charge of the Global Research Index Group, working group, and also the professor in Queensland University. And it is an honor to have a person from research sphere in our team. So thank you very much, and thank you for finding the time. And please, what is your question?
Thank you for the very nice introduction. I don't feel I deserve it in this group with all these fantastic presentations, but thank you. Kanthi, thank you very much for your presentation. Just as some background, I'm a researcher. That's my main job is evaluation. And I just wanted to ask, you mentioned that 4 out of 8 classes had the program. Were these classes somewhat randomly distributed, or did the children, say with their parents, choose whether to go into a chess program or not?
We definitely had permission slips sent to every child in a particular class. So our children are grouped according to ages, and not their verbal skills or language skills. So we have the 3 to 5 year old group, then you have the 5 to 7 year group, 7 to 9, and carries on like that. Yeah. So it was according to the class. So it's and basically age. And parents definitely had to give their permission. Yeah.
Oh yes. So my question wasn't so much about the permission ethics side, but more just in terms of if one wanted to try to get some hard data about the benefits, perhaps using aggregates of these school reports, like you mentioned. I wanted to know whether the children sort of made the decision to go into chess or not, or it was just that they were in that class at that time that chess was offered. And it seems like it was the latter situation, if I understand, which is the better situation for evaluation purposes.
Yes. There was one child that did not give us permission and was not added. Yes.
Okay, great. Thanks very much.
You're welcome.
And now I'm glad to introduce you our next speaker from Turkey. Please welcome Sinem Çağla Gündoğan.
Hello, my name is Sinem. Hi, everyone. I hope you are doing fine. I will share my screen in one moment. I think you see it. You can see it, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it's okay.
Okay, so today my main coordinators and main trainers weren't be able to give this presentation, so I am here on behalf of them, so I will try my best. Anyway, my name is Sinem, and this presentation originally belonged to my coworker, Melody Dinçel. I just made a small changes, so you can see both of our names. This is our team. I don't want to give too much time to these things because I have more important things to discuss, but we are 5 people in our teams. Reizniece-Ozola Solokoğlu is the head coordinator of Turkey. Like I said before, Melody Dinçel, main trainer, coordinator. She has an MD, and Hande Nur Şahin, woman candidate master, professional chess player for 15 years. She has an MA and she's another coordinator. And there's me, Sinem Çağla Gündoğan. I'm a psychologist. I graduated this year actually, and I am a woman FIDE master, and I am a trainer currently in our organization. And lastly, Milana Barsamyan, physical education and sports instructor. She is also a former chess player and a trainer in our organization. Quick summary about what we have done in this semester. So we separated this year into 3 education terms. One started in April 2022, then October 2022, and then March 2023. And now we made a break, and we are planning to do some summer online chess camp, because actually the parents and the kids are asked us to do this thing. And I think personally, I think it's a great idea, because it's always good to make them repeat and remember what they have learned before. So yeah, we are working on this thing right now. Anyway, we had our courses on Saturdays, 45 minutes for each group, and we had 2 groups, including 3-4 students in each group. Selection of the students. Yeah, we have high functioning autism. Their IQs are more than 70. We had 1 kid who has sound hypersensitivity, and 1 who has restricted interest to geography, and 3 receiving treatment for ADHD. I will give some examples about the kids about sound hypersensitivity in the next slide. Challenges, yeah. I think this part is the most important part. And I want to say thank you before I start to the Mrs. Sarjoo. I hope I am pronouncing in a right way, because you made such a detailed and scientific explanation about what I am going to give daily life examples about our experiences. So I am so happy that I am presenting after you, because it will make more sense. So anyway, we have some challenges. This is the, again, like I said, most important part, because I think if we figure what is the challenges are, it's always better to understand how to solve these challenges and problems. So first one, insistence on sameness, especially in group B. These are the examples like that. They're having hard time of adapting to new situations, changes. For example, they always wanted to sit in the same chair. They always wanted to be in the same environment and be with the same instructor, and so many examples like that. For example, I had one experience with this in one of my courses, one of my classes. One kid just sat a different chair, and the other kid was really furious about it, really frustrated and anxious, and he started to scream really loud, and the other kids was just like covering their ears because they were so annoyed by the voice, which also leads us to the emotional regulation problems, because they don't have too much control over their excuse me. They don't have too much control over their emotions. If they feel some things, they are just act on it. So again, with this example, the kid was really frustrated about the chair problem, and he started to screaming, and the other kids were very annoyed and bothered by the noise, so they were covering their ears. And I already told you that we had one kid who has sound hypersensitivity, so I remember his face, but he was literally really bothered about these things. And of course, attention problems, like everyone said before. If there is something in the table, if there is something new in the environment, it is really hard to make them focus. Actually, they have really little short span of attention. So yeah, attention problems might be challenging sometimes. And we had one kid this year, he is a new one, and he is 5.5 years old. So we had this significant age difference, because the other kids are 8 years old, 9 years old, and we can see challenges between them, especially. So it might be a good idea if we pay more attention to the age difference, like a lot of people in this Zoom meeting also said. And yeah, I think this is also maybe the most important challenge personally, abstract concepts, because we need to use more concrete concepts. I have an example about this problems, these challenges, because the kids are also like having trouble to think abstractly like we do. My colleague told me that she had this experience with one kid. He wanted to use the elevator, but in our building, our elevator, in order to use our elevator, you need to find the password. You need to know the password of the elevator. So this kid asked to some of the workers, how can I use the elevator? And she told him, you need to break the code, break the password, and so on. And I think 1 week later, our kid was trying to hit the elevator and kick the elevator. So my coworker went to him and asked, like, are you feeling okay? Do you need something? What is wrong? Why are you hitting the elevator? And he answered, because someone told me that I need to break the code and I need to break the password. So it is really hard for them to understand these abstract words and concepts. So it's always might be a good idea to avoid using abstract concepts and use more direct words, and yeah, maybe short explanations and concrete concepts more and more. And positive feedbacks, like you can read, there are lots of positive feedback, but I think the most important part, because I don't want to take too much time, I know we have limited time, I will just focus on these two that I remarked it with red color. More socialization. I think this is the best part of our positive feedbacks, because like we are not trying to make them the, I don't know, professional chess player or world chess champions or something. I think chess is just a tool, and the more important thing is make them to be better versions of themselves, especially in the psycho-emotional statutes. I don't know, like, again, I think 1 or 2 people are also mentioned, self-confidence, self-esteem, like having much more friends, enjoy the moment, and so on. Like, we are trying to support them more socially and emotionally, I would say. And yeah, more socializations, intent among students who participated in chess lessons. They're having a great time, actually. They made friends, they're enjoying the moment, and I think they gained a lot of self-confidence and yeah, a lot of self-improvement, especially in social terms. And that thing leads them to high willingness to attend the lesson, because it's not like a school lesson or a strict lesson. So they actually getting joy. That's why they have this willingness to attend the lesson. And also we are so lucky in terms of the families, because they are so supportive and very open to negative and positive feedback. And yeah, they are very happy, and we are very happy about the consequences. And these are from our kids. The first one here, I really liked it. One of our kids made it. It's like a 3 or 4 questions puzzle, and he just made it by himself. And I think that shows that he can also understand a lot of concepts in chess, because if you are be able to create a puzzle or question about some topic, it means that you understand a lot of things about that topic. And yeah, that's it for us. Thank you for the opportunity. We are so happy to work with you. Our families, our like children's parents are so happy. We are so happy. And thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you very much, Sinem. It is really a pleasure and a very encouraging thing for us to see the results, and to see that you share all those obstacles as well. This is helpful for everybody in this team. And taking the occasion, I would like to thank you also to the author of the program, which is used by all the partners and which is really valuable. And I would like to thank Alla Mishchenko, who benefited her 15 years old experience of working with children with autism spectrum disorder. And now we see the results step by step of all this hard work. So thank you very much. And our next speaker is also one of the most inspiring and devoted women in the chess world, Ms. Sharon Whatley, President of Gibraltar Chess Association.
Hi. Good afternoon. Let me see if I can share my screen. I'm not sure if it's working or not. No, that's not it. Oh dear. I don't seem to be able to share. I'm really sorry about this. I should be able to share my desktop, which should take you straight to my presentation, but my Zoom doesn't seem to want to do it.
Do you want us to share your presentation?
Yes, I don't know if you have it actually. If you have, then perfect. I'm not sure whether you received it in time. I was at the hospital this morning. If you just give me 1 second, I'll get somebody to. Oh, hold on. Can you see what I'm seeing? Can you see my presentation at all there? No. Yes, please. Yeah, if you wouldn't mind giving me 1 minute, I'll. My son actually is one of the coaches. He's here with me, so hopefully he'll be able to sort this out for me. I haven't had much time to really organise it due to being unwell. How do I share now, Stephen, this?
Okay, if I may, while Sharon is fixing your technical aspects, I just would like maybe to stress and thank our partners for all what they're talking about. Because when, for example, Viesturs talk about tournament and about his personal time he spent to organize this opportunity for these kids to participate, and when he just mentioned I saw that kids are not so interested in socializing, but he discovered an opportunity to use mobile app and chess app like Play Magnus and so on. We do understand how many efforts are behind of this, and also about C and your updates that they will be able to join some local private business to support this project, and about media coverage. Like Dana mentioned, yes, we do have some budget for this project, but thank you actually for all your personal time and all your resources that you spent for this project, because actually it's our main power and the thing why we continue this project. And also about Kanthi, and thank you again for actually organizing this additional masterclass for local teachers in your school, because it's really very important. And Sinem, this story about elevator, and when all of us just mentioned that yes, we do meet some challenges in our classes, but we find some solutions. It's actually one of the reasons why we organize this meeting as well, to share our own experience and to evaluate our program and to add some additional tools that could be useful in future for our future partners, and actually for our current partners as well. So thank you for this, and special gratitude for all our partners who were able to create and to organize additional groups. Because yes, actually we advise to have one group which consists of 4 kids, but many of you managed to create additional groups. And all feedback that actually we received and you sent to Maria, it's a beginning and important part for our evaluation and information which we will include in our presentation and in our future researches. So I just would like to stress that we do understand all your hard work and highly appreciate it. So thank you again for it, and we are glad to get all feedback from you, not about challenges that you was able to solve, but maybe also about things that you still do not solve, but find a solution, and we will be glad to find this solution together, because Allah, she's here, and Natalia also more than open to provide you any assistance and organize additional meetings if it's needed. So it was just few things from my side that I wanted to add. So maybe Sharon, how are you right now?
Yes, hopefully this should work now.
Yes, let's try.
I had to come out and go back in again. There we go. Is that right, Stephen? Okay. What are they saying? Okay, I'm not sure what you can see.
We can see your presentation.
Ah, great, okay. So to introduce myself, which you've already done anyway, I'm president of the Gibraltar Chess Association, but I'm also the coordinator, one of the coaches. We have academic tutors, a resident school autism spectrum disorder tutor that comes in with us for each lesson when we're in the school, which is really helpful. Before we actually start the lesson, there's a 10 to 15 minute handover from the tutor to let me know if there's anything happened to the child in the lessons before, if they're having a bad day, if they've had a problem at home, if there's been a problem the week before. Mostly that's done very quickly, and it's really helpful, especially if we realise then before the lesson starts that some of the children will need a timeout, or they may be likely to be disruptive if they're angry about something. Particularly, we've had a couple of children that have argued in a lesson before with a tutor or a child, and that's led to disruption before the class starts if we don't know about it. So the handovers are really important. The coordinator, myself, I'm responsible for liaising between the specialists. We have a resident psychologist that comes in and out of the school to make sure the children are happy, including the children with the disorder. And we constantly contact him with the different aspects of problems that we think we might observe in a chess lesson that maybe a tutor might not see because they've got more children in the class, and maybe a school teacher helping assistant might not have seen it. It's quite evident in the chess classes. We've noticed that the chess classes, the children appear to be more themselves. So behaviours are more evident in the chess class, which is helpful to the tutors as well as to the parents, who sometimes don't see it either. So our main objectives in school, the priorities are given to making sure the student is happy, comfortable and safe, that they enjoy their lessons and that they understand what they're being taught before they move on to the next stage. So the children are actually, if the children aren't, sorry, I have a noise, give me a few minutes. Sorry, thank you. Sorry, is that better? Sorry, I've just been told my screen isn't open properly. So the priority is given to also make, sorry, no, that hasn't helped much. Sorry, I'm very sorry about this. That hasn't helped. I don't know where I'm at, that's it. No, I really apologise. Okay, there we go. We're back to the picture again. So in most cases, the children's experience has progressed outside of the classroom. So if they know what they're doing, they feel confident that everybody's up to the same speed. They're all careful to, we're very careful to make sure that each child is at the same level when we move into the next class. So all the children are at the same level in each class, they're separated. When they go to the next class, before they do, we have a brief chat, and their class then should all start at the same level. If there's a child that's falling behind or doesn't understand what's being shown to them, that's where we have outside classroom activities, and I go into that class, and I reiterate the lesson before so that no child is left behind. In each class that they have, every child should be, we've found it better for us that each child should be at the same stage. So if there at any time a child is feeling like, or one of the teachers feels like the child is left behind, extra lessons are given that week so that in the following week, everyone can stay at the same pace, because we also have children that will move a lot quicker. And in that case, we've got extra devices and extra material that we can give that child to use while everybody else is catching up in that lesson. In the most cases, their experience outside of the classroom has been phenomenal. They're much more social. Their academics in class is actually expanding outside of class as well. So they're able to interact academically with other people. So when they're going into, some of them are ending up trying to play other academic games like bridge, for instance. That's been the higher end of the spectrum, but it's definitely been a big bonus for the children that have come in with hardly any knowledge of chess, sometimes very introvert, and we've found that by focusing on the fact that the children are happy and comfortable and safe for the most part at the very beginning has been much more rewarding for them than focusing on how quickly they go through the system. If we need to take it slower, we do. We have our children actually in school. We started at the very beginning of the program last year with a smaller number and increased quite a lot. Sorry, I'm having a blip on this again. Sorry. Our experience and knowledge that has helped us throughout the year has travelled through all the other schools. So we've had a lot of intake, a lot of people wanting to join the programme, and not enough teachers. So what we've actually now expanded on is teaching the teachers to teach while we're not there. So we've had each school has a booklet that they've been given. So once we teach a group of teachers how to interact with the different specialists that we have, those teachers go away with that booklet and they're able to study it. And I go in, if I'm not on a lesson that day, I go in and check to make sure that the teachers are covering the booklet correctly, that everything is going according to the strict plan that we set up. And it seems to be having a knock-on effect, and all schools are now wanting the programme. It's been a blessing. So although we have a limited number in school, we also have double the hours we're working outside of school to teach children exactly the same programme that can't be taught in school because there's insufficient resources and time. We've also managed to integrate 8 of our students into the normal chess club, as in the children that are training for the national team, which is a great improvement to what we had at the beginning of the year. Those children, at the end of this summer term, we held a crazy lightning chess game for a lot of the children, forgetting, because the children had integrated so well, they're autistic children, forgetting that actually they might not find that easy to follow. And whilst 7 of them did, one of them decided that it was too much for them, because it is a lot. I mean, it's difficult enough for the children without that, the disorder, to follow the fact that a piece is going to change from being a knight to a rook at the drop of a hat. That I'd completely forgotten that would be a problem. And the child just stood up and said, "I'm not playing. This is not fair, and that everyone's cheating." And so I sat with him and said, "Okay, why don't you sit with me and I'll play for you?" And I started putting pieces on the wrong square and moving pieces in the wrong way. And he suddenly got really annoyed with me and said, "No, I'll do it myself." And he continued playing. And so that was something. It was a lesson for me to not disregard that children with the disorder actually still need extra supervision while they're in our integrated class if I'm going to change the way we play. But it was also interesting to see how that child had decided that he was a better player than me and was going to actually do it properly. So that was a really nice bonus to that. So moving on, the lessons in the first and primary school were held on school premises. Our senior school children were taught in school and chess club setting, and the coaching of tutors in school and chess club setting has meant that in our next academic year, more children will be able to be covered. So the materials we used were, sorry, I think I've skipped one there. Yeah, the materials we used for the Infinity project were from the project themselves and the Gibraltar Chess Association, which included special sized demonstration boards provided by the Infinity project, standard chessboards and pieces. We also used the Century boards, which are great, and I'll show you a picture of that in a minute. They're the black and white pieces and on black and white board, and they light up so the children don't actually have to play an opponent, they can play the board. And that for some of the children was a really good reprieve. So if they were agitated with their opponent, or they were finding it difficult to concentrate in an environment with more than 2 or 3 children, placing them on that board was a good distraction. Firstly, they loved the fact that the board lights up. Secondly, they had no other opponent to worry about, so they were just playing themselves, and it was a very good distraction. They are expensive, but they are very worthwhile. So we found but they were more for the older children. The younger children, the black and white chips, the memory cards, the numbered black and white cards, a specially adapted set of black and white chess cards and paper and pencils, and we have outlined chess cards that we can give to children if they need to have some time out but want to be distracted, so we get them to colour them in. They're just simple little things, as well as having materials to distract them for the younger children, if it be a cuddly toy or anything in their time out, so they've got something to concentrate on other than the way they're feeling. And we found that the Harry Potter chess set for the middle school children was, we used it as a treat during their golden time, and that was in school. So they have golden time in school. It's about an hour where children can choose whatever they want to do. And a lot of the children were choosing the Harry Potter chess set, so we need to invest in a few more. And that mostly was just, it's a treat. It wasn't really the fact that they were playing chess, that was a bonus. But it definitely helps to have, although it's not so helpful with the actual game of chess, it was very helpful for a distraction and to get more children encouraged to play chess around them that didn't have the disorder, which enabled interaction a lot more. So with the materials we prepared were a handbook specially adapted for each school, which the school is allowed to keep afterwards. They were allowed to use. I checked them to make sure that they were working in each school, and each class has a different handbook too, because of the age differences and the skill of the child involved. They were allowed to keep those. So the teachers then hand them on to the next year. So we have a lot, because we're such a small community, our teacher ratio changes quite a bit each year, and they rotate from different schools. So it was handy to have a standardized handbook that stayed in that school, so that each new tutor could have a look at it before we started the new term. So summer term, when they're doing their teacher training, it became part of the teacher training. The age range of our students involved in the project are first school 5 to 6, primary 7 to 10, and senior 11 to 16. We have one child from first school that actually plays in our chess club as well now, and is integrated well enough for it not to be an issue at all. She needs no supervision. She's very straightforward and blunt, and that it's more of a problem for other children than it is for her. So she can't understand sometimes why why somebody thinks she's rude, and she's just very blunt. So that's kind of it. But it's nice that she's very young. So it actually gets away with it a lot more. So yes, that's very encouraging. So the variable benefits of the programme has been the students' individual success and improvement. That academically, the teachers have told us that their children are improving, especially in maths and in English, where they would normally not want to read out loud, where they would normally not want to interact in a discussion in an English class. They are now. A difference it makes to the students from my observations is that they're happy. Their ability to interact in the chess class as a whole is greatly improved, and they're happy when they come to the class. They want to come to the chess class, which is a nice thing. And I think that being a small community has a lot of benefits in that respect. Because the children already know each other quite well from walking down the high street. They're bumping into each other. That it's not something new. So that helps a lot for us. And the inclusion with other students and teachers, where our children weren't talking to the teachers and interacting too much, they now have an opinion, which has been nice for the student and the teacher. And so here we have one of our children playing on the century board to the left and to the right. The child on the left, I'm not sure if it's your right, actually, not the child in the white creamy coloured top. He was the child that refused to play. He's in our club, refused to play the Crazy Lightning chess until I played badly. The child on the right is now going into a private school and moving abroad, but he's in our national team. So that's been a nice improvement. In the middle is so you might have heard the interaction with my son. So that's my son, Kamal from Morocco. Might not recognize him because the last time we saw him, he was 6 years old playing in a tournament with Kamal.
Absolutely, yes, he was a baby.
And he's there teaching. We had 8 in that lesson, and he's teaching from a large screen where similar to, so it gives a similar effect as a demonstration board, but for the older children, they like the TV screen better, and that's been done in our National Library. So they allow us free access to that for the summer camps and towards the end of the summer when the older children are getting a bit more fidgety. There is Stephen again with some of the younger children. They respond better to him when it's not in a classroom. So in our normal chess club, they respond much better to him. He laughs and jokes with them a lot better. He understands them a lot more than I do. So that's my drawback. I'm more teacher orientated, and he's much more fun for them. And here we have some of the children again at the top. They're allowed to wander. We allow them to wander from board to board if they're getting fidgety when Stephen's about, because we have more tutors then on hand, and he makes it more fun for them. So if they wander, he's less strict about putting them in their place. And so we have in the middle, we have one of our girls as well playing there on the bottom right or left, maybe, I don't know how you're seeing it, and we have one of our disability chess coaches who's in a wheelchair. There we are in an open air a scenario where the schools were invited, all schools were invited to do an environmental day, and they allowed us some chess pieces, and that was really popular. And the little boy that he's teaching is autistic, and we hadn't seen him in any classes. His mother hadn't had him diagnosed at that point, but it was clear that he was suffering. And he spent the whole day with the guy there, Benji, who's now one of our coaches. So that was really lovely development. At the top to the right is one of our children there that just turned up, wasn't part of the chess scene at all, but came with his teacher, who's not in the photo. And she asked if I would give him specific lessons because he was struggling at school and he wasn't on the list. But she added him to the list after that. So he's another student of ours now. And that's myself with one of the girls who's quite promising, but she doesn't like being photographed. Her mother gave us permission to photograph her from behind. She concentrates. She's the most focused child I've seen. But as soon as she walks off the board, she's disruptive. It's the only time that she concentrates. So that's actually a nice bonus for us. And her mum says she's improving and she's back next year. So hopefully, yeah, that will carry on and she'll become part of our national girls team. I shall stop sharing now if I can. I'm not quite sure how I do without the help of my son. Where are we? I think that might be it. There we go. Yeah. Is that it? Have I stopped sharing?
Yes, thank you.
Great, thank you. Sorry for the blips in between.
No problem. Thank you very much for the great presentation and insights for everyone for the cooperation and development of the project. I wonder if anyone have some questions left? No? Well, I would love to thank you again to everyone. It was a real pleasure to meet you.
Sorry, Maria, I think Kanthi have a question.
Yes, sorry, I see now, yes.
Hi, it's not really a question, it's a comment that we have observed. With children on the spectrum, you find that they leave school at 18 years old. And after that, to get employment or to get them out of the house, that's been the main challenge for most of the parents. And I know that chess can actually take this forward because they can have chess clubs with children with autism or adults from any special needs disorders or whatever, but it can actually be a tool to develop the social skills as an adult. And I think, and also to encourage that social interaction as an adult. And it's one of the hardest challenge is actually to develop this as 18 years and above. So I'm hoping that that is also a project that can be seen as worthy as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sharon. I see you also want to comment on something.
Yes, it's just to answer the last speaker's question. Well, actually, another observation. We have assisted work placements, and most of our assisted work placements comes from the autistic spectrum. And they actually, we have an adult club, and they attend the adult club. Which isn't part of the Infinity Chess project, but we take the skills that we've learned from that into the adult class with them, and they benefit hugely from that. But because again we're a small community, it's easier to do rather than some of the larger countries would find that harder to achieve. But definitely it does help.
Thank you very much. I'm sure that with all your help and assistance, we will consider it like one of the ways to develop the project and to spread its influence and benefits to all those who need it. And thank you for finding time to join us, for sharing your ideas, your approaches, your results, achievements, and maybe some concerns. And as Nadezhda said, we're also always open for any comments which you have, even not solved yet. And I wish you a lovely day, and I look forward to seeing you at the next stage of the project. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.
Have a
Thank
nice
you.
day,
Great
everybody.
presentations.
Thank you. Bye.